Well, looky here, everyone. TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile back here. What do we call this area?
Behind the glass.
Behind the glass. If there's no glass there, this is presented by T-Mobile. T-Mobile, a proud sponsor of this show. They want to remind you to visit T-Mobile.com/across America to learn how you can get value in coverage through T-Mobile. Tam, I am Meredith Dalton. Richard's back there. Everybody wave. Why is nobody's face showing up?
What?
You guys used to be a part of the studio audience. You guys would, can you provide some value to the show? Meredith does.
I do every day.
I was talking to Sam. There's no reason
the newbie.
for you to yell at me. There's not I'm sorry, folks. It's been a while. I'm glad to be with my buddies. We finally fixed the camera back here. On the show, we had to go hour, and we banked on a lot of stuff. I'm banking on Quentin Jackson scored 20 plus in this one. We did have our baseball roundtable. Ronnie was here. Zane was here. Somebody tried to step to Zane. He brought the heat. We talked some baseball, though, around Aggieland with Mr. Zane. And the latest with Billy Liucci on all things A&M sports related. Of course, we had to talk some football. It's TexAgs Rewind. All right, let's see. What do I want to bank on? I'm banking on Quentin Jackson. Okay?
Man, I don't blame you.
I'm going to say he's going to make it 11 straight games in double figures.
Okay.
And I'm saying he's going to go 3 straight games with above 20 points. He's been playing at a very high level, and I think he's become the focal point. There's no think. He has become the focal point of that offense. They've been playing better basketball recently, so I'm going with what Q has been doing. I'm banking on him, and it's not a hard bank on, right? You know, I don't take a lot of risk. This is an easy one for me. Quentin Jackson is going to score 20-plus points and double figures for the 11th straight game.
I like that.
It's safe.
I think one of the things that A&M has done to play a little bit better basketball is they're putting the ball in his hands more. Mm-hmm. They're changing their guards, and they're taking out guys who are struggling and saying, you know, Quentin is not a point guard. Radford aren't a point guard, but when we get the ball past midcourt, let's put the ball in their hands at the top of the circle because these guys are productive. And because of that, I'm going to bank on A&M winning back-to-back games for the first time.
Let's go.
How long has it been since they beat Ole Miss and Missouri back-to-back? And now they're going to Ole Miss again. Now, Ole Miss is going to be tougher at home, but Ole Miss lost a guard for the season last month. And I got to admit, I couldn't tell you who he is. I just remember reading it from my good friend Parrish Alford, who covers Ole Miss for the Tupelo paper. So I'm going to have to call Parrish. But they beat Ole Miss once. They're starting to figure out that, hey, let's just get the ball in the hands of our best guys and let them create and do whatever they can do. And I think it's working. The Aggies back-to-back victories. That's how I'm crawling out on a longer limb than you are. I think you got a layup.
Man, mine's easy. Yeah.
Of course, A&M and layups hasn't always been that reliable.
From the film that Schloss has been able to see, they've got a pitching staff that can bring it.
Yeah, Coach Schlossnagle was saying yesterday that they've got all 3 of their starters throw around 93 to 94 miles an hour, which is a tick up from what they saw last weekend from Fordham. Guys are sitting around 89, 90 miles an hour. So it's a bit of an adjustment, but at the same time, these A&M hitters, pretty sure they see that every day in practice from their own arms. But, they've said they've been watching video of the Friday night starter, Kevin, I'm not even sure how you say his name. I think it's Icy. Apparently really good summer season in the Cape Cod League, which is obviously the best summer league in collegiate baseball. So it'll be a tick up for the Aggies, but I don't think it's anything that they can't handle.
Name a Penn grad. Go, quick.
A Penn grad?
Yeah.
Donald J. Trump?
I thought he went to Fordham.
No, he graduated from the Wharton School of Business.
Oh. I was going to say Mike Elko.
Mike Elko, yeah.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you went political, but I didn't.
Well, I've been hanging around with Olin too much.
Hey, the other thing that I found interesting yesterday was when Schloss talks about this team, he really loves to talk about the defense. And he says, if you keep the right guys healthy, we're going to catch the ball in the infield. And basically he's talking about keeping Clown healthy and the rest of that interior in that infield. When you see this team play defense and you see the foundation that came from last year, what do you guys see?
I mean, Kalai Harrison, just being the guy at shortstop that everybody expected him to be defensively. And he made some errors last year. And I remember, I think the response to the results on the field last year from the fan base were just because they were ready to see change, right? Like they weren't willing to be patient with Kalai Harrison as a true freshman playing every game at shortstop. Like he needs that patience, but they weren't willing to give it to him because they were ready for change, right? And so all Kalai has done is keep getting better and keep getting better. Now he's turned into one of the better defensive fielding shortstops in the SEC.
We continue with Richard Zane because it is now time for Around Aggieland, which is presented by Normandy State Bank. Normandy State Bank, rock solid banking. The website is normandystatebank.com, and you don't have to be a scholarship athlete to bank there, my friend.
Bronny was not joking. This chair is at least 6 inches lower than the one I was sitting in.
You are much lower, yes.
Around Aggieland, the
Look
biggest, look at that. Like, it is tiny. Around Aggieland, I mean, I'm a small person, but I look even smaller sitting in the Bronny chair. Around Aggieland, the biggest story was last night. Obviously, Texas A&M women's basketball lost to South Carolina, 89-48. The game did not matter. That is not the story. It was the fact that we said goodbye and thank you to a legendary man, Gary Blair, as he coached his final home game at Reed Arena last night, and what a scene it was.
Yeah.
A ton of people came out to see him and wish him farewell and all the best in retirement. And I think the best thing you can say about Gary Blair, and Ross Bjork said this yesterday in his post-game remark, is that nobody out there has a single bad thing to say about Gary Blair. He's a good man, and he did it the right way. So to Coach Blair, thank you for everything you've done. Women's basketball will conclude their regular season on Sunday afternoon. They'll face number 25 Georgia in Athens, a 1 p.m. tip-off on the SEC Network. Plus, in men's basketball, also sticking with the Georgia theme, Buzz Williams' team put together perhaps their most complete offensive performance of the year, beating the Bulldogs 91-77 at Reed Arena on Tuesday night. Quentin Jackson, a perfect 11 for 11 from the field, career-high 31 points. Henry Coleman, Tyrese Radford, Manny Obaseki, and Hassan Diarra also joining him in double figures. They'll look to complete the season sweep of Ole Miss tomorrow. That is a 2:30 tip-off in Oxford on the SEC Network. A&M beat the Rebels on January 11th, 67-51. Baseball news, Jim Schlossnagle improved to 4-0 yet on Tuesday night as A&M's head coach. 9-3 win over Lamar. 5-run first inning punctuated by a Ryan Targot's 2-run homer. Austin Bose 3 for 5 with 2 doubles and a triple and a run batted in. Christian Curtis got his first win as an Aggie as well. They're back at Olsen this weekend for a 3-game series against Penn. 2 o'clock start on Friday as opposed to the 6:30 previously announced start because of weather. 2 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. But scheduling changes are likely, so keep up to date with that on Twitter. Softball has already announced a change for the Reveille Classic schedule this weekend. Instead of playing 5 games this weekend, they'll play 3. Texas A&M will take on number 7 Oklahoma State this afternoon, a 3:30 start at Davis Diamond. You can catch that on the SEC Network Plus. And then they'll play a Sunday doubleheader. No games on Saturday. They'll play Oklahoma State at 2 o'clock on Sunday before facing Texas Southern at 4:30 on Sunday. Both of those games on the SEC Network as well. The SEC Indoor Track and Field Championships are in town this weekend over at the Gillum Indoor Track Stadium, the last event being held at that facility. 2 days competition beginning today, and then Saturday, you can find the times there as well. Number 2, Texas A&M Equestrians on the road on the Plains this weekend, facing number 3 Auburn. A&M's looking to keep their 8-meet win streak intact. A 10 o'clock start tomorrow morning. That meet will not be televised. Women's golf finished, I believe they finished 5th in the Icon Invitational this weekend. Jeannie Park led the way for the Aggies, finishing tied for 6th at 7 under on the weekend. Men's tennis faces Oklahoma and Norman tonight. They'll face SMU at home on Sunday. And then women's tennis, a Sunday Sunday meet against Rice. That'll begin at 4 o'clock on the Mitchell Tennis Center.
Thank you, Richard. Here's one from Ag Engineering 12. Mike Leach never played college ball, not even sure he played high school, and he's one of the biggest college coaches in the game.
You can start calling me the Pirate.
You are the pirate of
Arg.
TexAgs Radio, baby.
Thank you.
I don't want to call you baby ever again. Billy, the Ags will be going. Jimbo and whatever players he brings will be going on the last day of SEC Media Days there in Atlanta. Jimbo will be paired up with Josh Heupel and Brian Harsin on the last day of SEC Media Days.
That's pitiful, but good. I like A&M going on the last day. I like them. I mean, that's a pitiful set of coaches. I'm not buying the Heupel hype. I think he did all right this year. It's like a couple of coaches that I'm already getting tired of hearing about is Heupel. Well, I'm going plural here. So Heupel and Mario Cristobal. I'm getting tired of him already. A&M needs to whip that you-know-what when they come to Kyle Field this year. Feldman's down there, it sounds like today. That hype job's about to begin. And Bruce went to Miami, but the constant, the U is back. Everybody in college football, these are the same people that criticize the Jimbo Fisher hire. They're the same people that went crazy and talked about the U coming back when they hired a horrifically bad coach in Manny Diaz. Terrible coach. They hired Manny Diaz, and we had to hear about it because he had Miami roots, so the U was back. Now they're hiring Cristobal, who has a better resume, no doubt. I look at what Mario Cristobal's done at Oregon. It does not impress me that much. I mean, that is a pitiful Pac-12. He lost games he shouldn't. I watched their games. He looks like a terrible game day coach. I know he has put together an impressive staff. Congratulations. Was it Mark Richt that was supposed to do good things there? These are the same idiots that hired Al Golden. Look, Miami, I do think this is a good hire for them. I do. I think this is the best one that they've had. But the rush constantly to say that places like Miami and USC are back, Texas is back. It's these college football fans of the 80s and 90s that have turned into, or, even the early 2000s, like 15, 20 years ago, the pre-Twitter era. And they're like so desperate for these teams to be back from when they started up in the business. And they want to be on Twitter to talk up the U, and they want to be sitting there to talk up, Vince Young versus Matt Leinart in the Rose Bowl, Mac Brown versus Pete Carroll. They wish they had that attention on them as media members back then that they could get now if these teams start doing what they're doing. And it's tiresome. It really is. They're just you can just feel it, how badly they want these two. They just, every single thing they do, they're back. No one's talking about how Mario Cristobal was underwhelming at Oregon. He was. Just go look at it. 2 years ago, they were average and got their teeth kicked in by Iowa State in the bowl. Was it Iowa State in the bowl game? Or was it this past year, I know they didn't play. He wasn't coaching them against OU. The results wouldn't have been different. Their team wasn't good enough to stay on the field with Oklahoma. They lost games they shouldn't have last year in a crap league. I know the big one was they went and beat Ohio State. And sure enough, like Oregon was, they same deal. They want to thrust Oregon back into the national title picture. They want to desperately put the Pac-12 back in there because that's how it should be.
You've watched the rewind enough. No, they don't pay for the show. Put that down. Tell us a little bit of what they're supposed to do after they watch the video.
Like, subscribe, comment, tell us how good we are. Do all that good stuff,
Mayor, you can say something too.
Smash the like button and subscribe.
There we go. Everybody wave bye. All right, you guys aren't part of the video anymore. Thanks for watching.